The city of Miami has a gang system very similar to Los Angeles, divided by colors and ethnicities, and some of these groups are well known. Each of these gangs left their mark, with unique histories, territorial control, and a profound impact on the local communities. In this video, we'll explore this real story and the territories over time, so stick with me until the end. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything about gangsters. We're the only channel producing this kind of content. In the 1970s and 80s, Miami was a city characterized by deep social and economic inequalities, along with a mix of ethnicities, languages, and cultures. The African American community largely faced major challenges in accessing education, jobs, and housing, creating a classic environment for the emergence of gangs. The demand for drugs was growing in cities across the country, and Miami was no exception. But unlike other major cities, Miami's geographical position favored great ethnic diversity, not only in its population, but also within its gangs. It all began in Liberty City, a region that grew into a large African American community in the city. Due to poverty, violence, and racism, it gave rise to the first recognized gangs. There were the Boobie Boys and Young and Living, or simply YLO, both African American gangs focused on territorial control and violence. Tony T. Money Washington led YLO, focusing on crimes like drug trafficking, robberies, and turf wars, especially in the Pork and Beans housing project. Kenneth Boobie Williams led the notorious Boobie Boys. As part of their routine, they committed drug trafficking, theft, and extortion, demonstrating their power in the streets with violence toward any potential enemy. Gradually, they consolidated in Lincoln Fields and Edison Courts. Both gangs, recognizing the importance of expanding their territories, began exploring areas beyond Liberty City. Miami Gardens was becoming the largest black community in the city and caught Boobie Williams' attention. He aimed to extend his influence there. The Boobie Boys first focused on Carroll City. After eliminating rival local dealers, they established control over the area. This move alarmed neighboring gangs, who braced for a bloodbath and territorial wars. Although the Boobie Boys were better armed, they were still outnumbered by local dealers. But Boobie Williams was undeterred. Driven by his desire to expand, he moved there and personally took part in several brutal assassination missions in Miami Gardens. His surprise attacks were meticulously planned to eliminate key figures in rival gangs, demonstrating his ruthlessness and reinforcing the Boobie Boys' dominance in the area. Over time, the Boobie Boys managed to eliminate many rival leaders, gaining full control of some major regions in Miami Gardens. It was during this time that the Boobie Boys were considered the most violent gang in the city, so much so that they made local headlines. As gangs and the illegal trade grew, new criminal groups emerged across Miami. In Little Havana, a new Cuban origin gang called the Alligators surfaced by Eddie Gator Rodriguez, who fought to establish his organization throughout most of Little Havana. The Alligators maintained a hostile relationship with the Liberty City gangs, especially the Boobie Boys and YLO. Frequent conflicts erupted over strategic drug trafficking points in Little Havana, leaving the Alligators infuriated and worried about regular incursions. The main point of contention at the time was Calle Ocho, where the Alligators held the most influence, yet the Boobie Boys, fearing to give their enemies an opening, retained operations there to apply pressure. As growth and migration occurred in Opa Locka, the Southside Kings emerged African American with links to the Latin Kings. They took over highly strategic territory for drug operations and managed to control Opa Locka. Right away, they declared war on every other gang and set their sights on expanding south into Coconut Grove, a region with African and Bahamian immigrants. Over time, the larger gangs with established territories increased their rivalry. Homicides became more common, since everyone wanted to control the illegal market and protect their monopoly. Even smaller gangs didn't escape. In that same era, the 1980s, the crack epidemic spread widely, causing a massive rise in users of all illicit drugs, boosting profits in conquered territories, and opening opportunities for numerous new drug points across the city. This paved the way for a surge of smaller gangs aiming to control drug supply. Just like neighborhoods that received immigrants from specific cultures, the Haitian crisis brought mass immigration to Miami. The Haitian community settled in Little Haiti, where Zoe Pound was formed extremely violent and ambitious. They committed crimes like drug trafficking, ship theft, property invasions, smuggling, murder, mass slaughter, kidnapping, and torture. They truly wanted to stand out in the criminal world. With time, many members began identifying Zoe Pound as a hip-hop movement and Haitian pride, making it hard for police to classify the actual criminals. The members didn't use signs, flashy clothes, or gang tattoos. Their relations with other gangs weren't uniform, some were neutral, some allied, some enemy, everything depended on profit. That's why they didn't engage much in territorial disputes but instead focused on other illegal activities. In far west Miami, the Hialeah area became a major Latino population center, fought over by gangs from all sides. The most dominant were large gangs from Chicago, like the Latin Kings expanding westward, and the Gangster Disciples spreading East Spanish Gangster Disciples, Maniac Latin Disciples, and even Latin sets of YLO, the Young Latin Organization. Besides these dominant gangs, many smaller ones operated in Hialeah. The region's territories were chaotic and contested with two main sets, the West Latin Kings and the Spanish Gangster Disciples. Zoe Pound grew in Brownsville and became the region's top drug supplier, allying with local gangs and controlling the neighborhood. During this time, racial tensions and community conflict intensified as gangs moved into diverse areas. These clashes not only involved rival gangs, but also local communities and interventions from community leaders. Finally, alliances between major gangs were consolidating control over the city, but we'll save that topic for the next video.